Hey everyone, and welcome back to Totally Pointless. Now, today we're diving into something that should have Canadians outraged. Every day we see news about our government sending billions overseas to Ukraine, to other war zones, to international causes, while our own citizens are dying in the streets. Now, before anyone tries to twist this, let's be clear, okay? We're not saying we shouldn't help other countries. What we are saying is, why are we ignoring our own flipping people?
Well, and that's exactly right, TJ. Look, we just announced $250 million to deal with homelessness. Now that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Now, wait,
Okay.
the provinces do have to cost match that. So for every dollar the federal government puts in, a province has to put in a dollar,
What?
which means it's not guaranteed. So in actuality, the federal government is dangling this money out while shifting responsibility off to the provinces. Now, do you know that we don't even have solid statistics on how many homeless Canadians are dying every week? No official database, no government tracker. The best we get is an estimate based on numbers from charities that kind of scrape together any information they can.
Are you kidding me?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
JT, that's insane. Like, how do we not have hard data on this? I mean, what? If you want to know how much we've sent to Ukraine, no problem. I can actually tell you. As of last year, Canada sent over $9 billion in aid, and we just keep sending them more. Are we doing a dollar for Ukraine as well?
No, absolutely not. We're doing what's right. We're supporting the Ukrainian people, um, but we're not so concerned about our own people. We just kind of ignore them. Now, while we're funding those wars overseas, we do have another war going on here, right across the country, and that's the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
Between fentanyl and any other drugs that are killing Canadians by the thousands here. Like in 2023, more than 8,000 people died from opioid related overdoses. Over 150 deaths per week. And,
Wow.
and and what's our response to that, right? Oh, we're going to have safe injection sites.
Yeah, because
Like
those are
harm
helpless.
reduction, it sounds great in theory, but it's not working. It's just making it easier for people.
No, exactly. We're enabling addicts instead of saving them. Like, we don't need more sites where people can legally shoot up. We need more rehabs, detox centers, long term recovery programs. You know how many public rehab beds are available per capita in Canada? JT, it's embarrassingly few. It's easier to get drugs than it is to get help. But guess what? Like, the Trudeau government is now considering legalizing hard drugs nationwide. And I wish that was a joke, but it's not.
No, it's not. And don't even get me started on the housing situation, right? Everyone keeps talking about a housing crisis like it's some kind of surprise, like you should be shocked that we don't have enough housing for people. But our government let it happen. Like home prices skyrocketed because of unchecked foreign investment, and that corporate greed that goes right along with it. Homelessness exploded because our government spent more time virtue signaling than actually fixing a problem.
And I mean, I'm just saying, like, we're being taxed into the ground. We can't even, like, most Canadians can't even afford our own homes, right? We can't afford to buy our own groceries, you know? We can't afford to home those that are homeless. Our immigration, I mean, we're bringing thousands upon thousands in. And uh, okay, I don't know where we're putting them. Is it the hotels? I don't know where we're putting them because I'm not seeing too many homeless immigrants in tents, but I am seeing all of our own in tents, right? And, it's just like, don't worry though, let's keep writing checks for every other country.
Well, and that's exactly it, right? We had talked before starting the podcast here, and if you drive past any of these homeless encampments, right, whether people are sleeping under cardboard, whether they're sleeping in tents, whether they have got together to have bonfires to try and keep warm, what you're seeing is, average Canadians, you know, people who, maybe one paycheck ago were living in an apartment and just can't do that
or
anymore. That
or
they
the
don't have that paycheck.
the bank took their house. You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
have it at all. I mean, we're not creating more jobs. We're not creating more homes. But you know what we are going to create? Let's create more safe injection sites. Okay, let's put the money there and let's fund all of the drugs. Let's create a service, the maid service. Let's create this service where, are you not happy today? That's okay. We can relieve your pain with one simple needle. And like
Yeah, like
we're
it's
laughing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I volunteered for CAMH, and we're trying to save people, and you've got the government saying, "No, don't save them. They're depressed today." Doesn't matter their age. They're depressed today, right? Let's either get them hooked on drugs or let's put them down like they're, a sick, rabid pet.
well, and that's the saddest part, right? And that's why we're calling on Canadians to wake up. You know, if you want to help, donate to organizations that are actually making a difference. Um, it's so sad. We're so worried about what's happening in other countries. We're worried about. Don't even get me started on all the crazy stuff that we support in everywhere from South Africa to Ukraine to
Oh,
all
Doge
across
is
the world.
opening up like crazy things. I bet you Canada's right on board with a lot of these. Sesame Street in another country. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like we've paid. I'm trying to think of some of the examples, right? Like we paid to teach people in Africa how important it is to like wear shoes. We spent like $250,000 on it.
What about the
Like,
studies of are newborns racist?
right? Like
What?
I don't understand. We have real problems in our country. Where's our support? Where is I don't know, is Australia sending us money to help us with our homeless people?
No,
No,
no.
right? Like where is it for us? But you know, I don't know.
Well, where can
I
people
oh,
like right now, like all these government sites? I mean, even here in Cape Breton, I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to out them, but we know who we're talking about. They came up with these, these pallet homes and everything else in these shelters only for addicts and to keep them on the program. So it's not for addicts to help. They say it's to get them clean, but it's addicts that then they take back and forth, which we're funding the cabs and all of that back and forth for addicts to go to the safe injection sites, right? But where can people donate to that isn't, government funded? Like what
well,
organizations are out there?
and I do have a short list here. Obviously, it's not extensive. I'm sure there's lots of other places that are helping out here. Um, but you can donate to places like the Mustard Seed. They provide shelter, meals, and addiction support. That would be the mustardseed.ca. We also have Covenant House. Now they support homeless youth and they get them off the streets.
Nice.
So covenanthouse.org. We have Harvest House. Now they focus on addiction recovery and housing solutions at harvesthouse.org. But look for your grassroots organizations that aren't tied to government funding, right? Just people who are trying to do what's right for other people.
And that's what we need, you guys. We only have each other. If anyone out here thinks that no matter what government we have in place, that they're looking out for us, they're not. We've got to go back to helping thy neighbor, caring for one another. We're all we've got, right? I don't mean to sound rude, but our government is out to end us, and if you're not seeing that, it's time to open your eyes. Look around. We need more outrage, right? More flippin' action, and a government that actually takes care of its own citizens first. It's frustrating.
That's absolutely right. It doesn't matter what government that we have. Doesn't matter if it's been conservative. Doesn't matter if it's been liberal. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
All the governments are worried about the world stage and the world economy and well, at some point we have to worry about whether my neighbor's okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's when it's honestly, like, it just infuriates me. And when I had first moved out to Cape Breton from Toronto, I can tell you, like, there wasn't the homelessness here. Like, And in the past 7 years is what I've been here. And now it is all, I didn't see any needles or anything when I first moved here. I can't even now walk downtown without having to avoid needles on the ground. It's sad, okay? And I love, like, I'm not putting the addicts down for this. It's the government that's keeping them addicts that I'm upset about, right? I have my own family members who are, I'm always worried every day I'm going to get that phone call that, they've found, my sister's body. Like, I'm terrified. And it's these places that continue to feed her. So is the outrage there? Yes. And I'm sure every single person on here listening right now has a loved one, a family member, a friend, themselves even, who is suffering with addiction and seeing that, they're probably not going to wake up tomorrow. And it's time we do something. Okay. And whether it's drugs or even just homelessness with the weather that we have, people are freezing, living on the streets, dying of hypothermia. And we're worried about, you're right, okay, and I'm not saying anything bad. It's not a war, say, per se, with guns. I mean, though that is a problem here now too. But we don't have like a war with, being in fear of bombs dropping on us. But we're losing our own citizens at the hand of the government.
Yeah, and I hope, and I hate to say this, but I hope that this has been uncomfortable for people to listen to. I hope that it makes you uncomfortable. I hope that it makes you upset. We need that. We need people to be talking about this.
Yeah, and we need you to talk about it. We need people to stand up. We need people to do stuff. And I agree with you. I hope everyone that listened in, either you're on our side and you understand and you've been looking into it too, or right now you're feeling very uncomfortable and there's something that you want to do because, it's only we only have each other. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway, thank you all for tuning in to Totally Pointless. Thank you, JT, for giving me such information. I had no idea. Again, you guys, you've got the mustardseed.ca, covenanthouse.org, harvesthouse.org. Look into them, guys. See what we can do. Thanks for listening. Thanks, JT.
talk to you soon.
Okay, bye bye.